Ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic duo have returned, the Batman and Robin of this thing. the duo that entices over 6,000 people to watch a stream where they can't even see the fight.
They don't need to see the fight because you can paint the visual picture. You are an
artist. Come on, let us begin the show with the magical words of dream it, believe it, become it.
Coming up. You all know what time it is. Big up Jermaine Williams. Yeah, mate. Alex Skills.
Come on.
What's that?
Boxing Hub.
Well, Grace. What are you saying, Grace? How you doing?
Ota Boxing Hubs, AAV Develops, E. Francis, Simitech RS, Jason Harry, Tunde is a legend, love brother, Ota Mickey Dubs, Philip Answer, Motley M. Spools, Ricky Wallace, Al Kuya, Daya, Chrissy Blue, The Lovely, 876. You know the set. Ota Lee S, Mr. Stand Up Guy. Yes, sir. Ota Ashley Walker, Daniel J. Bolton, good evening, young man. Old-type Grace Edmonds, Andre Bukenya, Alan Skill, Jermaine Williams, there, old-type Untraceable, Jay Lanks, the list goes on and on. Old-type Mitchell Taylor, Tyrone Booth, Thomas J. Riley, Nilante, Air Force 286, Mickey Black, Champion, Miss Ringside, the lovely Miss Ringside, Mikey Majestic, and we're there in the dance. And Spence, what a great 7 days we've had, firstly, of boxing.
Why does Spence know everything? Yeah, this guy, I don't know everything, bro. Historically, I know a lot, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, as I was saying, what a lovely 7 days we've had in terms of the sport of boxing. We've had an undisputed heavyweight title with Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. And last night, we were all privileged to watch a hell of a fight, as they say. A hell of a fight with the El Gato, Jack Catterall, and Mr. Josh, the Bosch Taylor. Great fight, Spence.
You know what, Tim? It was so, how can I say, what's the word? You know what I mean? It was so joyful, right? To see a fight of that magnitude, number one. Yeah, it was so joyful to see a fight of that magnitude. It was also so joyful to see that the right guy got the decision, right? I was suspect about the scoring because the scoring was very wide. When the judges were actually saying 117, 111, two of the judges went on that way. We're trying to say that Josh Taylor only won 3 rounds, right? Which is no. Right, I scored it going by your commentary. Cause I was listening to your commentary. I was jumping through your commentary and jumping on my phone because I had some prior business to go take care of, and watch it on the phone to catch the rounds as well. And then I said, you know what? I'm not even going to go watch the rounds. I'm just going to go by your assessment of because what Tunde is so good at doing. He's very good at calling every punch that is thrown and calling it what it is. If it was a power shot, if it wasn't a power shot, that is very, very difficult to do, right? Because you got to gauge it. But because you're an accomplished trainer, you can see by the motion of how somebody positions themselves to throw a shot, you're going to know where it's hard or not. And you're also going to know, like certain guys, we know we're in the game for a long time. I've been in the game. The craziness is that I've been involved in boxing for 42 years. So therefore, you kind of know when someone's kind of put the poker face on, or when you think, nah, that hurt him. And it's good when you're talking to other guys in the game because we know as well, especially when body shots get from. So what Tony's very good at doing, he's very good at painting the picture so you actually feel like you're there. That's the artistry of storytelling, because Tony's a storyteller. And that's what he did yesterday. So it was good because it's the first time that I've actually listened to the watch-alongs where I'm actually a spectator myself. I'm not engrossed in it with you and watch my TV at the same time. So what I witnessed there yesterday was two guys that went at it at each other, right? But there was a real beef there. And yeah, in boxing, there's got to be a winner or a loser unless it's a draw. But Josh Taylor has nothing to be ashamed of in coming second best to Jack Catterall at that time. Because I said this before, I said this on Boxing King Media. The thing about Jack Catterall is that he's deceptively good. Because you look at this little idiot, man. And then you get in there with him and you find that. And that's why I have to rate him. And fair play to him. Big up Ace 1. But that's why I have to rate. I thought it was a great fight. The rant that was by Bob Arum, I don't think the rant necessarily, Tunde, the rant necessarily was that the fact that Josh Taylor lost. I think his rant or the thing that made him upset was how wide the scoring was.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But Tunde, if I flip the page to 1986, April 6th, the same scorecard, 117-111, was awarded to Sugar Ray Leonard, who you were promoting versus the great marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Oh wow!
Right, and I didn't hear you say anything then. So you know what? You know what I mean, Bob Arum, shut up, man, in the nicest way.
The knowledge is coming with the knowledge.
Come
on. But yeah, I mean, listen, Spence, I do feel 117. I felt watching it, commentating on it, I did feel that was a bit too wide. You know, I wouldn't have complained if there was like 2 points, 2 rounds in it. Because it was that, and I guess if it was the fight was in America, it may have gone the other way because a lot of American judges score for aggressive fighting.
Yeah.
And Josh was pushing the fight, but what we cannot get past was the beautiful boxing El Gato was doing. The triple jabs. The triple jabs was a thing to behold. And although I don't know, anything is possible, but you know, you kind of feel it for Jack in a sense that title of being an undisputed champion was
robbed from him. It was robbed from him.
Yeah, it was snatched from him. The first fight, you know, and can he be an undisputed champion again? You know what? I was just watching the Tio v Josh Taylor fight, and Jack Catterall can beat Teofimo Lopez. You know, I'm saying it here on The Fight Is Right.
Okay.
Jack Catterall can beat Teofimo Lopez because, in hindsight, watching back the fight, it was okay, but it weren't nothing that Jack Catterall never done last night. Jack Catterall was coming over the top, you know, with a left hand. He was doing a 1-2 right hook, left uppercut, right hand, bro. There was times in there when Jack Catterall was breathtaking. I'm not gonna lie. And so, yeah. What do you see next for Jack?
You know what? It has to be against one of the champions. I was mightily impressed with him, Tunde. Right? And yeah. And I'd say to you young people out there, go back to the 30s and the 40s and the mid 40s. There was a fighter called Barney Ross. Now, a lot of people think of Barney Ross from Expendables, because that's the name of the character played by Sylvester Stallone. But no, he got that name from Barney Ross, who was a former freeweight world champion. Right? Barney Ross was a southpaw, and I see a lot of similarities between Catterall and Barney Ross.
Okay.
Just by the way he fold in, I can see like Catterall trying to watch about Pernell Whitaker as well. But the famous thing about Pernell Whitaker was that the late great Eddie Futch said with Pernell Whitaker did things like 50s fighters do. And I'm saying you now that Jack Catterall does things that 50s fighters do. And that is a rarity in this new age of boxing where everybody wants to do eye-catching pads and but certain fundamentals are being forgotten. And the nicest thing is that was demonstrated by Jack Catterall last night. And truly enjoyed it because when I got back indoors, I said, let me just take in this fight again. And I watched the fight again. Yes, big up, Mr. Stand-Up Guy. Thank you for the 199. Congrats on the 5K views last night. I'm telling you, Tunde was on fire.
It was actually 6K live. We reached 6K. 6K was live on the thing. So listen, and it was an actual milestone for us to reach 3K. So we broke 3 records last night. Yeah, Edna Good again highlighting it was 6K because we'd never reached 3,000 live on the watch along. So we bust 3,000. Then a man said we're gonna bust 4,000. We bust 4,000. Then a man said we're gonna reach 5,000. We reached 5,000. Then boom, 6K live watching us, and that's big. That's massive because you go watch some of these big platforms, The Zone, Sky. Go and watch some of their videos. They're not even hitting 6K, let alone 6K live. Yes, obviously, when they tally up, but I'm saying within a protracted period of time, they're not hitting that kind of what they call it, engagement. It's serious. So, the platform is growing thanks to you guys more and more every day. Old time mod and nothing to say, just $1. Thank you for the pounds. Much appreciated. Stand up, guys. 6K, my bad. Yeah, thank you again for the 199. It's all good. We knew what you meant. It's huge viewing, Simitech. And as my man said, as Edna said, 10K. Spence said it last night, but he said he want 10K cash.
Cash.
He want the cash. We're gonna come back to that. So much to talk about. So much has gone down this week in boxing. Ryan Garcia, B sample has come back positive. Positive, Spencer. I don't know why this is still getting so much
traction and attention.
Traction and attention and fanfare from the people. Like he ain't got caught for drugs. I don't get it. I don't get it, Spencer. Tyrone Booth going back. TalkSport at 3K live watch. Come on, big TalkSport.
Big TalkSport can't stop for a second. Big TalkSport can't talk to us.
Come on, Spence. You didn't even say that.
What do you mean they can't chat to us?
He didn't say that. But cool. So we might need them one day. But yeah, it's true, bro.
Of course, listen. All right, cool. I hear that. Big up TalkSport because they always big us up anyway.
Come on,
you know what I mean?
You know this.
They do. They always big us up. You know what I mean? And big up them man they're down there.
Alfie Black says it's because he's Insta famous. Yeah, but I still, all right, I hear that, but we still can't get over the fact that we went in there with an undefeated fighter, an unblemished record, and I know I've read some reports that Osterine or whatever the drug was had really nothing to do with the display of boxing that Ryan Garcia put on. But I disagree, Spencer. I disagree because even when Devin clapped him with the first left hook, you see him kind of like acting erratic, shouting, and he come back in, bro, like he never even got clapped. So whatever unfair advantage that you're having over another athlete in the sport of boxing, you have to deal with it. Iron Man chatting about 6-month ban. That's not enough, Spence. 6 months is not enough to ban someone who has knowingly gone in there and cheated. Now, I hear what Ryan Garcia is saying, that he's never ever taken, he just about takes supplements, but either somebody's got it wrong. Who am I to call him a cheat? But somebody's got it wrong. It would have been great to hear what Bill has to say, because Bill has been vocal on social again.
Yes, we're waiting for Holler Bill right now.
I did send him the link. It's Sunday.
I got busy. Holler him, man. The link, you send a link. We take these people. You some girl down Brixton. Phone him about links.
Cool. I'm gonna try Bill. I'm gonna try Mr. Haney. and see if Bill, I know he's probably spending Sunday with the family, but you never know. What time is it in Vegas right now? It must be, it's mid, yeah. Quarter past
11
12.
o'clock.
Quarter past 12 in Vegas right now.
Okay. So it's good time.
It's a voicemail.
Voicemail.
Don't worry.
Voicemail. So yeah, you know, the Ryan Garcia thing. Hopefully, we'll come back. We'll come back on that because a lot of people have a lot to say about this Ryan Garcia, Devon Haney thing, whether or not this is gonna be wiped from his record, and he will still have an undefeated tag. I think that should happen. To be honest with you, Spence, I think that should happen because if it's been proven that he's been caught with drugs, then it's unfair. It's unfair. This Saturday again, moving forward, we have the 5v5 spinning ranking. And another pay-per-view event. It's like they're just robbing, man.
Like, I'm coming to your house. I'm doing a watch along in the kitchen where you are right there.
It's coming like they're just robbing,
I'd rather spend my £25 in diesel to drive to your yard, you know what I mean, in the range, than me spend that and give them man no more money. They're taking too much money from me.
It's like every week it's a pay-per-view.
They're taking too much money from me, so therefore, no. That's what I'm going to do. Right.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say good fights, Spence. Great fights. Better than the average. Let's say that. Better than the average fight night. I hope everyone on the bill is being paid very well. But let's start off with Hamza Shiraz versus.
Why do you want to start on that fight so early, Ton? That fight's the most juicy.
Cool.
Let's the fights on. I'm telling you this now, Ton. That fight is a very, very juicy fight. You know what I mean? Trust me on that. That's a juicy fight. Simply because Hamza Shiraz's hardest fight, yeah, or the worst demonstration I've seen from Hamza Shiraz, was it 2 years ago now? When he boxed against Bradley Skeet. He didn't look good in that fight. You know what I mean? Subsequently, he's moved up in weight. Subsequently, as he's moved up in weight, he's now putting in that work. But the guy that I saw against Liam Williams.
Liam Williams?
Yeah, Liam Williams, the Welsh kid, that was impressive. Right? And people saying, oh, Liam Williams is short and he's this and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. None of that. He could be short a little more. But it's what you do when you get into there to make those guys know that they're short. And I was very, very impressed with that. But I am going to say that this Amor Williams ain't no joke to him.
Amo's a serious guy. You know, listen, I read, I want to watch the face-to-face. I'm only about 1 minute in. I just said I'll watch it after the show. But I see some certain comments, people saying, you know, Amo's a bit of a madman and mental health. Yeah, they're busting a mental health thing. But one thing I can say is, regardless what anyone thinks about Hamza Shiraz, this is a real fight. And I think this fight is going to show the boxing public and fans if Hamza Shiraz is the real deal. Because from what I have seen of Amo Williams, he can fight, Spence.
He can fight.
He's got a skill set. He's an American with a skill set. He ain't just coming in throwing fish and chips.
Nope, and he's got hands as well, Ton. He's got hands. He's got hands, bro.
But as I said, Hamza, I think Hamza last fight KO. Fight before that 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 KO, 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 fight before that KO. Bro, Hamza's on smoke. Hamza's on smoke. So I'm anticipating somebody is getting touched up this fight here, Spence. Someone's getting touched up this fight here. Ammo Williams, you know, he ain't fought no slouches as well. You know, 17-0, he beat a boy 18-2, or that was Kieran Comrie, which is no disrespect to Kieran, but you know, it is what it is. A 13-0 you, 14-2 you, a 20. Steve Rolls is a good victory. Steve Rolls fought GGG. I remember that name. Steve Rolls is a good victory, and he himself has only lost 4 fights. Gennady Golovkin, and he lost on points to Edgar Belenga. So that's another good victory for Ammo Williams there. So I must say that man said I was reading Wilder's box trick. Nah, that was Hamza's box trick. It's KOs, 19 wins, 15 KOs. And I remember early on, people was really saying, Hamza can't punch. Because
they were saying that. But I think since he's moved up in weight, he's found himself. And now that he's properly based out in America, that's where his camp is. His trainer is a massive Oscar De La Hoya fan. And you can see he's adopting the Oscar De La Hoya style of boxing. You know, Oscar De La Hoya was like, there with you. And then let the hands off. And he lets off the hands neat. Before, he was throwing the right hand a little bit wide. Now he doesn't throw it wide. He throws it straight down the pipe. And that's what makes the difference in Hamza Shiraz, why he's banging out guys so quickly now and so effortlessly. Because Steve Williams, I was like, right, I was thinking, this is going to go kind of late. We saw what Steve Williams done when he was in the fight with Chris Eubank Jr. We saw the fight what he done with Boom Boom Andrade. He put in an amiable performance in there. And my guy brushed him like his name was Basil. Remember Basil brushed on you?
So I believe that fight is a genuine 50-50, Spence. That Ammo Williams against Hamza is going to be a serious fight. Has the potential to be the fight of the night.
But
it literally has that potential. Moving on, the card is a good card. Let's talk about Triple D, not GGG. We're talking about Triple D. Dangerous Daniel Dubois fighting Flip Hrgovic. Now, this is a fight, Spencer. Again, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this because
I tell like Usyk Tunde.
Yeah, because Hrgovic is saying that Daniel's got big muscles, but he don't have big BALLS.
Okay.
So he's saying that, bruv, you know what I done to you in sparring. You know what I done to you. He's come with a full Croatian badman talk. He said, you know what I done to you in sparring.
Well, Tunde, let's also be completely honest. Hrgovic's last 3 fights, Tunde, he has not impressed me. And I give him a squeeze for the Zhang fight when Zhang knocked him over. I give him a squeeze for the Zhang fight simply because of what Zhang done to Joyce. Right? I give you a squeeze for the Zhang fight because I also know that your father just passed away. That must weigh heavy on you, right? I give you a squeeze for that. But then when we were there ringside for his fight when he fought the Australian brother, right?
Yeah, Dempsey McKee.
Dempsey McKee, right? That didn't impress me at all. And then when you fought that little idiot man that David Hay bang out in 30 seconds, right?
The Mori.
You mean the more or less, right? 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 That was. So you haven't, but on the come up, you were impressing me, right? On the come up, you were greatly impressing me. But since then, you got floored by Zhang. And you know what? And everyone's like, Daniel Dubois is actually the underdog going into this fight.
You know what? I think Daniel should be the favorite going into this fight.
No, he's actually the underdog. So these little bookie man, where the guy random talks to their spies, they're not coming to talk to Double Tunde Ajayi, the master genius. They're not coming to talk to the master knowledge, Fearon, because realistically, right? I think Daniel Dubois could actually pull this one off.
Trust me.
Right?
Trust
I
me.
think he pulled one off. But, and here's a but, these are the have to play on this line. When we're playing God's advocate, you can only speak with righteousness, right? Because there's no devil business going on around here. I'm just going to be real with you two. Daniel Dubois is susceptible to left hooks. Right? He is. He's very susceptible to left hooks. And when Daniel Dubois gets hit with a shot, as he backs off in straight lines. You don't believe me? Watch this fight with Joyce. You don't even big belly man Miller, right? When Miller hit him with the overhand, right, he still backs up, right? He still backs up in straight lines. He doesn't back up in angles. Now he's working with that. It was Kieran Farrell was working with him as well now, right?
Say again.
Kieran Farrell is working with him.
Yes, Kieran Farrell, yeah.
Like Kieran Farrell is working with him now, right? And I'm saying to you that he needs to be able to move his head while being tagged, right? Because one thing I'm telling you about this little Croat, because I remember him from way back when he used to go down Vauxhall and spar with David Hay. I mean, one of the spars that was present there, right? And I think then there was talk about him turning pro. I don't think he turned pro yet. The guy is amazingly tough, you know.
Hrgovic?
Hrgovic is a tough man, right? And I'm hearing on the time when and it's not allegedly knocked out Daniel Dubois, right? He knocked out Daniel Dubois, right?
Knockout.
Huh?
Knockout.
Yeah, he knocked him out, right? Now, sparring.
But Daniel said he never.
Tunde, if a man knock you out, you're going to say they knock you out?
I can't remember.
Well, you can't because you knocked out. No, I'm just telling you this. I'm telling you, oh, thank you, man. But he had to hospital, right? Now I'm telling you this now, and I'm hearing from good sources who were there. Because as soon as it happened, I got a phone call. You understand? So it's not no joke, right? But I'm not taking away nothing from Daniel Dubois, because allegedly a few days after they sparred, yeah, and Daniel Dubois put hands on him, right? But I'm saying on that part,
he still sparred with him after he got
a few days after, yeah, he come back and sparred with him. You know what I mean? And I should phone the man that told me this information right now. Cha. You don't know Spenny ranking.
Well, I don't know about all this knockout thing.
I'm just letting the people know on the fights, right, that when you hear something, but you're hearing it from 3-4 people who were there, not
man saying was a clean,
right? Not kinda. I'm hearing it from 3 or 4 people that were there too, right? But I'm not going by it because I can tell you the next thing. Famously, in the 1940s, there was a thing called the Murderers' Row. It's actually called the Black Murderers' Row, where we had fighters who were African Americans who were really good fighters, but they couldn't get a shot at the title. There were a number of reasons, not only just racism, but at that time there in the 40s and 50s, black fighters couldn't sell tickets. Black fighters couldn't bring the gate because in America at the time, all the people who was coming with the real cash were Europeans, so it didn't happen. Drew Titan, LLC, $5. You can read that thing.
He said if DDD can fix moving his head off the line, he'd be in a better place. DDD isn't done. He just needs to fix some things. He's still a threat. Thank you very
One
much
million
for this.
percent is a threat because he's a powerful unit of a human being, Tom. Right? And I'm telling you, I brought a kid down to spar with him recently, and he's improved a lot. He's got a lot faster as well, you know. He's got a lot faster.
But that's always a good sign.
Yeah, he's got a lot faster. Right. But what I'm saying is this. We go back in the time of the murderers row, there was a guy called Kid Coco. Yeah? What was his surname? Hardwick was his name, who famously knocked out Sugar Ray Robinson. Right? Sugar Ray Robinson in history goes down as the greatest or one of the greatest of all time. When people say pound for pound, that title of pound for pound was invented for Sugar Ray Robinson. Nobody don't know this guy, Kid Coco. So you could knock out everyone you want to knock out in sparring. You could beat up whoever you want to beat up in sparring. This is your this is not the fight. This is your honing your skills. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. On those things, they don't mean that much. You know what I mean? Okay, you know Drew. You know what time he was Puerto Rican. Yep, he was Puerto Rican. He's a bad boy fighter. So yeah, you got to recognize he was a bad. This guy went from welterweight to light heavyweight, and when he was fighting light heavyweights, he was fighting them at like 11 stone 6. But anyway, I'm not really gonna bore you with those kind of things. I'm just telling you. Thank you very much. Take tests. Yeah, you know what? I just like talking the knowledge. But what I am saying is, so we can't really get to but by the way, this happened and that happened and because what really matters is how do you perform under the lights. And allegedly, Tunde, as you know, this fight, I am going to write a book. We're in the process of doing something right now. Right. So this when you perform underneath the lights, and Tunde knows that there's been enough, man. But come the time of fighting now, the lights, the pressure, and allegedly this fight's meant to be for the IBF heavyweight championship of the world. When Daryl Peoples, the president of the IBF, was questioned about it, he said it seems like that could be the case because Hrgovic is not backing down from his position that he has to challenge Alexander Usyk. Right? And then you got the Soutlands. I should ring one of the Soutlands right now to go find gossips on that. Yeah. But I am saying, like, what happens in sparring or in the gym is not the catalyst of which necessarily is going to happen come fight time. But what I am going to say is this: sometimes it's a good gauge, right? Sometimes it is a very good gauge because if we go back to what was it? I think it was 1998, Lenox Lewis versus Andrew Gallotta. I remember what Andrew Gallotta did 2 times to Riddick Bowe, even though he never got the decision because he got caught for fouling, right? But Lenox Lewis used to spar with Andrew Gallotta. And I remember at that time, and Tunde, you can remember because them times you run up and down in your MG, your convertible MG, right? People at that time, they was thinking, Lenox Lewis can't fight Gallotta because Gallotta's dangerous. I remember man from the hood, even certain man from Saxon Sound System was saying to me, boy, Lenox can't fight that man. And what happened? Lenox blitzed him in 1 round. But why did Lenox go out there with so much confidence in that fight? You know why, Tunde? Because Lenox used to punch him up in sparring.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, I just looked at it as a totally different way. I'm looking at it as like Daniel being the Brit and Lenox being the Brit. Daniel could just replicate what Lenox done and bang him out in 1 round as well. Don't be surprised if DDD clap out my man in 1 round. I'm not going to be surprised.
It wouldn't surprise me either. But there was no similarity between Daniel Dubois and Lenox Lewis, bar that they're both of African descent and got black skin. But that's the only comparison, and they're both heavyweights. There's no comparison between the two. I'm sorry.
Okay, I hear that. But can Daniel end up being the jewel in the crown? Remember, Daniel is still only 26 years young, and they are talking The talk is the winner of this fight will fight AJ in September.
September 21st. Yep.
Now, I'm not too sure if AJ would want to fight Daniel Dubois.
Why?
I'm just saying it.
Why?
I'm just saying it. That's a dangerous fight. Styles make fight, Spencer.
Tunde,
I would prefer AJ to fight Hrgovic.
Tunde,
I'm telling you, Daniel is a problem.
Listen to me, yeah? Why?
Man's already saying why. All right, cool.
Tell me why. Air Force 286 is saying why, brother Tunde?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you just said the same thing. I'm saying, and I said, stylistically, I feel that's a wrong fight for AJ. Daniel Dubois, all right, cool. Man's taking Daniel for a joke. Daniel ain't a joke.
I'm not taking it for a joke. He's serious.
Daniel to me, Daniel to me is more dangerous of a fight than Hrgovic.
Okay.
I feel AJ will clap out Hrgovic. And I'm telling you that Eddie Hearn is praying that Hrgovic win that fight as opposed to Daniel Dubois. I'm telling you.
Okay. I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, I know. We're just having our usual Sunday discussion. But that's what I feel. Yeah. Edna agrees. Kurt Campbell agrees. I'm telling you, Daniel Dubois, as much people wanna maybe criticize him for not being tough in the mental department, let's just remember he's a now young man that was even younger when he burst onto the scene. Remember, when he burst onto the scene, I remember Colin Hart saying he ain't seen nothing like this since Frank Bruno. Daniel was so young and explosive. It's probably the fact that he got moved up in the mental department too soon. And I feel like now he's coming into his own, because regardless of what anyone wants to say about Baby Miller, Big Baby Miller, or whatever you want to call him, he showed a lot of nuts and guts in that fight, Spence. He showed...
Totally. He did. Totally. I'm not taking away nothing from that fantastic performance.
And he beat Usyk. Thank you. Us daily motivation.
Stop this foolishness. He never beat Usyk. Stop this foolishness. Stop it.
He beat Usyk, bro.
Stop this foolishness. He didn't beat nothing.
He beat Usyk. I don't care. I'm back to Daniel. I'm back to Daniel.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not. Listen, I'm not batting for Daniel Dubois. I'm just telling you, he didn't beat Usyk.
He never let Usyk low. He hit Usyk in the right spot.
Okay, cool. He hit him in the right spot, and Usyk went over from it. Yeah. Now off air,
beat him after that. I'm not gonna lie. After that, but it's so good.
Right, exactly. We're talking about Usyk. Usyk was beating him up before that time, right? So, and that's why, and that's what, and that's even more so why I'm not buying into this. I hit with a shot, and where the shot was, it was on the cusp, But if we're going by layman terms, it's still deemed as a low blow, right?
Man's laughing. Man, dump him off before and after.
Right. I'm just gonna be real. I'm not buying into, well, he got robbed, because at the time emotions are high, and I know the family are saying, he got robbed, he got bumped, blah blah blah, all the rest of it. No, and I'll tell you even more so why he never won the fight. Because I just saw what Usyk done to Tyson Fury last week. So no, brother, you didn't win that fight, and that's that. Because if you was banking, that was your game plan. Your whole game plan was, I just want to hit the guy in his belly, he's gonna be gone. Shut up, man. This is called boxing. The artistry of boxing. I don't want to hear none of that foolishness. No, seriously, I don't want to hear that foolishness. Tunde, I don't want to hear that foolishness at all. You know what I mean? You get what you want. What you want.
Maybe I went too far there. maybe I've gone too far. Again, we're hopping from subject to subject.
No, Tunde, that's a good fight, though.
It's a good fight.
Of course I'm right. I'm saying to you, this is that fight there the Hrgovic and Dubois, it's a good fight.
It's a
Thank you
good
very
fight.
much. Tunde is the best hype man in the business. You know what I
Trust
mean?
me. Trust me. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Craig Richards versus Willie Hutchinson.
I don't like the fight.
Before we do that, thank you, Bolts, for the $4.99. Dan is improving, however, has taken the knee to lose twice now by much lesser punches than AJ. He's
Okay.
not been in with a renowned heavyweight puncher yet for me. And I'm going to agree with you.
Bolts, that was excellent. You know what?
I'm
That
going
was
to
such
agree
an
with you.
excellent question, worthy of your 4-9. Such a great question and such a great analysis that I would want to give you back your 4.99 because it was that good. Trust
Nah,
me. Big up yourself.
no refund around here.
No, not around here, bro. Petrol prices is murder, right? That's what I'm saying. But I'm gonna tell you again, Tim. Right? I'm gonna tell you again. Daniel Dubois versus Hrgovic, right?
Yes.
Is a very, very serious fight. Yeah? It's a juicy, juicy fight. Right? Trust me, it's a juicy fight. And we're only gonna truly realize how good that fight is after the fight.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know it's gonna be a great fight. You know what I mean? Because I know Daniel's coming to bring it, and Don Charles is pumped for this fight. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be sending him out to bring it. Right? That's one thing that I do.
Okay, so let's talk about this Willie Hutchinson versus Craig Richards because I've already told you my sentiments on this fight, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this fight. I don't like this fight for my guy Craig. No, Craig's, if I'm backing anyone, I have no vested interest in either of the fighters. But if I were to have one, I'm rolling with Craig all day, every day. But I don't like it simply because Craig is at the age and stage of his career where he shouldn't be letting in no use come in his thing. Willie Hutchinson is only 20, Craig is almost 10 years older than Willie Hutchinson. And I feel Craig should be demanding big fights.
Well, as much as you say that he should be demanding big fights, Tunde, yeah, we also got to take into account that not everybody's in a rush to fight.
Sorry, before you say that, before you say, and Man Morris, you say money talks, but you don't know how much man's getting. You don't know how much, but I know how much man's getting, but you don't know how much man's getting. So don't think, I keep saying this to people, don't think, no, Kurt Campbell, again, I'm going to put every man correct, because I know this. Don't think because you see fighters fighting in Saudi that they're getting money. I'm going to repeat that again. Don't think because you see fighters fighting in Saudi Arabia, they're getting money. That's all I'm going to say on that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, Spence.
Talk the thing, son.
I was saying that Craig is a vet now. Craig is a vet. He's been in there with a Hall of Famer. As has AY twice. And I always say there's no shame losing to these guys. Even if you're fighting them once, let alone twice. There's no shame losing. This is what warriors do. They step up and fight. Like, you can go on and say, oh, you've stepped up and you've lost twice. Bro, you're complaining about a man losing twice, but yet you are the people that want the fight. The fans want the fight. So it's like, for fighters, sometimes they can't win. You don't step up, they say, why are you not stepping up? You step up, then they criticize you for stepping up when it doesn't go your way. So it's like, we all know anyway that you can't really listen to the outside. You just got to do what you got to do as a fighter. But going back to this year, Usyk's definitely getting money. Tyson Fury's definitely getting money. And the other thing, the other thing with other fighters, it's not really my business. But I will never tell you how much. But I'm just saying they ain't getting what you think you're getting. What people think.
No, Tony, the reason why I'm saying I don't like this fight for Craig is because Craig
let's go back to that.
is at a level now where you don't really bring in these young guys, because to these young guys, they're looking at it like, this is my big chance.
Trust me.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying now. They're looking at it like, that's like, it's their everything. I still got Craig winning, but I don't like the fight for him. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be real. I just don't like the fight for him. But I've got Craig winning. And I think the key shot for Craig is going to be the right uppercut. You know what I mean? After peppering with a jab, to throw that right uppercut in, I can see that. But Craig's my guy. Trust me, Caledonian man like me as well. His grandparents come from the same vicinity as my dad in Clarendon, Jamaica. So I'm on that part there for him. But I'm saying straight standard, I don't like the fight. I'm just going to be real. I don't like the fight.
What chances does Willie Hutchinson have against such an experienced fighter like Craig?
You know what? It's more to do with desire. It's not the case of the experience that Craig. If my guy's got desire and momentum, right, can dash away your experience or you want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And also, and this is no disrespect to Craig, like Craig don't really box like a vet. Do you know what I mean? You don't want, he ain't no James Tony in there. When you say, oh, well, but he don't know. He doesn't. You know what I mean? Craig is pretty stand up. Craig is a sharpshooter, but he's a thinking sharpshooter. You know what I mean? He's a sharpshooter. I mean, look at Shaquille Pettis.
Yeah, I remember I was commentating on that fight.
Yeah,
I love that fight. I did love that fight for Craig. And again, I hope Craig comes out victorious. But this era is going to come from angles. Remember, Willie Hutchinson is a world champion as an amateur. He's had one defeat on his record. He's only 25 years young. His last two performances were very impressive. Martin Holborn was, at the time fighting Willie, he had only lost, I think, 1 or 2 fights. And again, people say they may not know him, but he's still a solid fighter. Ezekiel Madonna, he stopped him in 4 rounds. Madonna, people maybe remember, was the one who took, I believe, the unbeaten record of Moses Itoma's brother.
Yeah, he did.
And he was always a dangerous man. I didn't like that fight, even though, because you can look at a man's record and you can see 29 wins and 8 losses, but that doesn't really mean what people think. You see, that again, this is the thing. You beat someone like that, people say you've beaten a bum, but you don't know the pedigree of the man. You don't know that this Maidana guy had been in the ring with Artur Beterbiev, and you don't realize, I don't know, they never done the research on that brother. That brother, I believe, dropped Beterbiev. I remember when I was doing my research, let me Maidana down twice. I think he dropped Beterbiev in that fight. Or maybe I'm mistaken. It was another fighter. But anyway, he had that pedigree, against a young Itoma. But anyway, suffice to say, Willie Hutchinson has got a lot of desire. I've watched a few interviews with him this week, obviously doing my research on all the fighters on the 5v5. And I think he's a live opponent for Craig.
Very live. I'm telling you that he's a live opponent for Craig.
And Craig has got to be...
He's a live opponent for him.
Say again?
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's a very, very lively, lively guy. I mean, good fight, man.
Yeah. Craig's got to be on his P's and Q's for this fight. And I'm going to be watching this fight very, very closely. And as I say, my energy, my support is going to be with Craig 1,000,000%. But I know this youth is ambitious, and this youth is coming. He's very fast. He can dig a bit, but from what I can see, I think people are looking at his defeat against Lenox Clark, but that was in 2021. We're now into, so that's 3 years ago. So again, he was 22 years old at the time of that defeat. He's 25 now, probably a bit more solid, a bit more experienced. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight while it lasts. Craig is very heavy-handed. Obviously, I've trained Craig. I know I've been with Craig, been running together. I know Craig very well. And Craig is a very, very solid fighter. Very strong. Got those Jamaican genes in him. And I'm looking forward to that fight. So don't sleep on that fight. That's a good fight. That's going to be a good fight.
It's a great fight. It's a great fight.
Deontay Wilder versus Zhang. That fight, Spencer, I want you to tell me who's going to win that fight.
Zhang's going to win. Zhang's going to win. Zhang's going to win the fight. Zhang's going to win the fight.
Zhang's going to win the fight. Why is Zhang going to win the fight? Because I kind of believe.
Because when I hear Deontay Wilder, I don't think Deontay Wilder really wants to fight anymore. Nah. I could be wrong. I wish to God that he proves me different. You know what I mean? But I don't think he wants to fight anymore, Tim.
Me too. He don't look.
His aura. His aura. I might like want to fight anymore.
The aura's not there. Even when he's talking, all this lovely, hell yeah, man.
You're all kind of foolishness. You know what I mean?
Like, come out of here, bro. Man, just even when you're saying this bomb squad thing, I don't believe
it anymore, Tim.
I don't believe it. The bomb squad don't work. There's no vibration in the bomb squad. There's no vibration. None. You don't look. None. You ain't got the little dreads. I'm more focused on your.
I'll tell you why I'm favoring Zhang in this fight. Yeah. I'll tell you why I'm favoring Zhang in this fight. I'm favoring Zhang.
Herbs, I've got to deal with him.
I'll tell you why I'm favoring. I'll tell you why I'm favoring Zhang in this fight. I'm favoring Zhang in this fight for multiple reasons, but the major reason is Deontay Wilder is a noted boxer. Right?
Yes.
The guys that give Zhang trouble, they actually box. I know the things that you're doing with Malik Scott. Malik Scott's a cool brother. You know what I mean? And he knows boxing. Like, historically, he's done it. But whether or not you need to leave Wilder to do Wilder.
Yeah, I just think that they're trying to reinvent the wheel with Wilder.
And it's not working, bro.
It ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working. And Malik is my brethren. But all the theatrics, you know, like when Wilder throw the right hand and he's going,
oh, spare me, man.
I'm like, bro, allow that. Because I can hold pads for Wilder. Wilder ain't making me go over there. He ain't making me go over there. I know that. Because I know them tricks. Because I used to do them at the public weigh-in, the public workouts with me and Yarde. But Yarde was actually punching hard. He was actually punching hard. But you got to fly with the pads. But I'm saying now, because of the performances, because of what, as the fights, those 3 fights. I mean, I even watched Wilder today. And some of his knockouts were incredible, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he built this name from delivering just explosive KOs. But we saw in the Joseph Parker fight, the power, the aura, it ain't there. It's not there. And because he is a very good talker, Deontay Wilder, the man said, Malik, some zesty you. Because he is a very good talker, I feel that now it's a thing where in the past he convinced us, but now he's actually trying to convince himself.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder is trying to convince himself that he's still the bomber. And there lies the problem. Because it's gone too far now. It's gone too far. And I hope I'm wrong. One thing that could be in his favor is the fact that after 3 to 4 rounds,
he blows out.
Zhang is blowing. He cannot keep up the fitness. He just can't. He don't have the gas engine, or the engine to do a consistent 12-round contest. And this is why you see the lighter guys, the Joseph Parkers, the Alexander Usyks, beating these heavyweights. Because once they can't knock them out round 1 to 6, these men are setting a pace where the big guys can't handle. And again, going back to Daniel Dubois, that's why I thought Daniel Dubois can do well. Because one thing about Daniel Dubois, he's fit, Spence. He's fit.
The youth's fit. He's fit, and he's a solid unit.
Daniel's fit, very strong, very powerful, and yeah, it's a fight where I'm really looking forward to. I'm going, unfortunately or fortunately, I can't say unfortunately because again I don't have a vested interest in either fighters, but just because of what we've seen from Wilder in the past, I don't want to be like one of these men who just judging a fight blindly. And I think although the two of them are coming off of losses, I think this could favor Zhang. Why? Because of the point that you made, Spence. The fact that Zhang has boxing ability. The fact that Zhang is a former Olympian. And he's got those basics. His trainer's not trying to teach him how to fling a jab and a cross. He's got all those fundamentals. And because of Wilder's erratic style and his undoubted punching ability, him being taught how to box now is really, it's gone the other way. That's my personal opinion. I feel it's gone the other way. It's not benefited him. It's not benefited him. He's not a double jab right hand man. Wilder is straight fish and chips. Chips. Done the dance. But yeah, I can't see it. Again, I'm hoping that Wilder, man say he's looking like Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder's got more power than Deontay Wilder. Hold tight, Alfie Black. Yeah, it's one of them.
Like I'm saying, that's a good fight. But we also got to move on because there's a good fight down in the featherweight division. You know what I mean?
Brilliant fight.
Nick Ball, Tunde's brethren,
versus Raymond Ford. And he said my brethren, again, I just like Nick Ball's mini Mike Tyson aggressive behavior. And the way he just swings man around like he don't business. But
Nick Ball greatly impressed me. He greatly impressed me the way that he just stuck it on Isaac Dogbo.
Bust up that Isaac. And I was talking to Isaac Dogbo's father in the gym the other day. And obviously, they've split up. The dad is very, very, I don't want to say bitter, but the dad is angry, bro. The dad's angry at his son.
Look at this guy.
The dad's angry with him. He's like, Nick Ball cannot be my son when I was training him. He said he can't be my son when I was training him. I don't know about that. But the dad was, and I was like, brother, please, man, we need to calm down. You need to calm down. You can't hold on to these things. Sometimes, especially when it's your son, you gotta let him do, you gotta let him live his life. But I get the pain as well. But going back to Nick Ball, that was still an impressive performance against Isaac Dogbo, and even in his last fight, where some onlookers felt that Nick Ball deserved to win that fight against Ray Vargas.
Exactly. A lot of people felt that.
But let's get it right. Raymond Ford is a skillster. He's got
Good fight.
skills, and he
Good fight.
showed he's got the dog in him. Because, to be honest with you, nobody wanted to fight that Utterbek Komatov. Nobody wanted to fight him. Fighters were ducking him. They were ducking that brother. You know, because up until that point, I think he had a perfect 100% KO record, and Raymond Ford stopped him in the last round. And the thing I liked about Raymond Ford in that fight, that particular fight, was his ability mid-fight or early part, the first quarter of the fight, to realize that this guy is a puncher. And me just trying to box is not going to work. So Ford said, cool. I'm going to walk you down. And let's see if you can handle the pressure. So Raymond Ford has shown he's articulate in all areas of boxing. He can box, he can fight. And so I feel this is a fight where if Nick Bull is really about this thing, bro, he deserves to be a world champion.
It's a good fight. I think Nick Bull's going to pull this one off, because Nick Bull really and truly should be going into this. Should be actually be a unification match. And Nick Bull won the world title fight the other day, but they jobbed him, but they giving it a draw. You know what I mean? So,
and you know, there's gonna be some. I mean, listen, Nick Bull wins this, some big fights,
massive fights.
Lee Wood fight is there. Lee was the featherweight champion in it, but they're talking about the rematch with Josh Warren. There's some big fights in the featherweight division. So again, another fantastic fight on the bill. So we've covered Willie Hutchinson against Craig, and okay, I was just gonna say, why have they got Craig on that side of the thing? Nick, yeah, why is Craig's name on the right hand side? No, I don't like that. Craig's name's supposed to be on the other side. But anyway, we spoke about Craig versus Willie Hutchinson. We spoke about Hamza Saraz versus Austin Ammo Williams. We've just touched on Nick Bull versus Raymond Ford. We spoke about Daniel Dubois versus Flip Hrgovic. We spoke about Deontay Wilder versus Zilly Bang Zhang. And to top off the card, the top of the bill features really a fight we didn't want to see. We wanted to see the original fight, which was Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. But we know Beterbiev has pulled out with a knee injury, a supposed knee injury. A supposed knee injury. So in steps the unbeaten Malik Zinad, who was based over here for a hot minute with Joe Gallagher. The Libyan is 6'1". He currently boasts a record of 22-0 with 16 knockouts. He upset the apple cart in his last fight, defeating the previously unbeaten Jerome Pampaloni, who the UK BoxRec had him number 3, and I've never seen this guy in the UK yet. But he boxed his ears off. Is it gonna be enough to beat the formidable Dmitry Bivol? I don't know. The book says no way, Jose, but he's unbeaten, Spence. He's unbeaten. We know Dmitry Bivol beat the long reigning unbeaten fighter at the point at that time in the great Canelo Alvarez. We know again Bivol took the unbeaten record of Gilberto Ramirez, who is now the cruiserweight world champion. We know he beat Craig. We know he beat Joe Smith Jr. We know he beat Jean Pascal. We know he beat Chilemba. We know he beat Sullivan Barrera. Hey, Bivol has got some record. We know he beat Lyndon Arthur. He's got some record, Spence. And but can Malik and big up Will Jones getting the call up to be in the corner with Malik at the last moment. And you know what? I was speaking to Will. I said, Will, this is what it's about. You're living the dream. You know, you're living the dream. They're calling you up. This is all experience. Young trainer in the corner in a massive fight against Dimitri Bivol. And this is only going to set Will in good stead moving forward in his own training career. But I don't know if you've seen anything of Zinad, Spence. And if so, what chances do you give him against the formidable Dimitri Bivol?
Let's move on now, bro. Let's move on because I got to done this show quick.
Is that how you just palming man off?
I'm palming him off, man. Don't waste my time.
Yeah, a Southside gunner. You know that. Craig's supposed to be on the other side of the thing.
Don't waste my time,
anyway,
please.
All right. So we've spoke about the 5v5. Again, I'm sharing man that man's not bitter about nothing. And I'm boosting up the show because we're boxing fans at the end of the day. We spoke about the 5v5. We spoke about Catterall. On the undercard, let's not forget, old tight, the Bishop, usually a negative brother, 491. Usually a negative 491 brother, but it's all good.
Yeah, we can't forget
Siobhan Clark. Can't forget the Source putting himself back in the picture. Winning the Bridgerweight title. I don't know what thing that is. The Bridgerweight title. It's the weight class in between cruiserweight and heavyweight, if I'm not mistaken, Spence.
Yeah.
But again, back to vintage Okolie, first round stoppage. I'm still wondering why they're rating him as a cruiserweight. It's quite obvious that Lawrence. And what did I say? What did I say from before? I told you it was this vegan thing that was making him weak.
Why? So is that eating again? Is that eating again?
I said it, and I saw a little. Someone sent me
eat meat again.
Someone sent me a little documentary thing, or a little Instagram post, or reel, or something, where Lawrence was saying it was the vegan thing why he was weak. It was because of the weak. Yeah, I told you. It was the vegan thing. Because he's a fighter. Fighters can't be vegans. I'm just keeping it real. You need the meat. You need the meat in your system. And Lawrence said he was a vegan because he was trying to make the weight.
Well,
so when he started eating jollof and pounded and egusi,
the punching power come back.
Again, we see what time it is. You're knocking out man in one round. Fighters, you can't be vegans. Fighters cannot be vegans. That's for when your career is over. Trainers can be vegans. Managers can be vegans. Promoters can be vegans. Fighters cannot be vegans. And I'm sorry, vegan lovers, you're misleading the man then. The most fighters can get away with is the fish. The fish can work. Because we know the fish is a proper thing. But when you're telling man to eat vegetables and you're going in against guys that's eating
you're weak.
wachi and all these kind of food, it's not going to work, bro. It's not going to work. So I'm glad that Lawrence is back on the steak and the eggs. I see him busting down the Eddie eggs and the vegetables.
You think he's Eddie, brother? I see the man walking to the butcher and them raw meat, to.
Oh my God, Eddie, bro. What are you doing?
What's wrong with this little fugitive?
Eddie, what are you doing? You can't be so eager. You can't be so eager for Instagram clout. Eddie Abu. You can't be so eager for Instagram that you're telling man to eat raw meat. What
we used to eat it thousands of years ago. So we get in. I said, brother, you're going too far now.
You're going too far. You can't
too far.
Hold on. So what? There's no seasoning. There's no cooking. There's no salt and pepper. You're just
So if
making.
you didn't season it, I could have thought, well, you know what? The man ate the raw meat, and that's why I said you're gone too far.
Even the butcher man then was looking at him like, look at this
I know.
mad, look at this mad African brother. Even the butchers. It was
The
like, look at
butcher
this mad
man was
African
looking
brother.
at him, and the butcher man picked up the phone quick to ring immigration to get him deported. I'm telling you.
Bruv, Eddie Abu, nah, stop it with that. Don't be telling our youths that they must eat raw meat. That's some caveman business. Bruv, this is 2020. It's like giving someone, it's like I saw a brilliant thing on social the other day of a Nigerian talking about our parents were always saying, go to school, get your education. And for that time, the time has moved on now. Certain things in schools that are being taught in schools, most syllabus is in school. When you get into the real world, you're not using that.
We're not using it at all.
But at the time of our parents, when our parents was telling us, go school, get education, it was valid. And the same is with the beef, the raw meat thing.
So we've evolved as human beings. Our stomach has evolved as human beings. Do you know what I mean? Right? Just know that part.
Man said raw meat is some witchcraft food. You gotta make me laugh. Here we go. So here we go. Vitality Bristol is saying you guys are tripping. The raw meat has so much more vitamins and other micronutrients.
Yeah, you eating it.
A medium rare steak is still listen to what you're saying. A medium rare, so it's still cooked. You're still cooking it. That's not the same as just grabbing a meat. You might as well just go and hold a dog that's running up and down your street and start eating it.
And just numb it.
And just eat it. It's not the same. When there has been fire put on the meat, it's cooked. Whether you cook it for long or short. But when you're just grabbing meat raw like that and eating, we've gone past those days. We've evolved past those days. So anyway, it's quite clear that now Lawrence Okolie is back on the meat and fufu and eba and pounded. He ain't grabbing man. He was grabbing man before because he was weak. That's why he was grabbing man in the fights, because he was weak. So he's like, bro, you man ain't knocking me out. I'm grabbing you. But now that he's got the proper meat back inside his system, the proper steak, he's clapping man down in one round. So big up Lawrence Okolie, the new WBC Bridgerweight champion, and he now has the ability or the potential to move up to heavyweight and give these guys a problem, Spencer. How well do you feel Lawrence Okolie can do in the heavyweight division?
You know what? I'd like to see him a couple of
Before you answer that, because of you, Eddie Abu, eggs are now expensive. Because of Eddie Abu, eggs are so expensive. Anyway, carry on, Spence. I just thought I'd just throw that in.
Well, I'm saying if we look on how Lawrence performed the other day, that was impressive. Because remember, the guy who beat Hrgovic bust up Alan Babbage.
Yes.
So we have to look at that, and he's got very good amateur pedigree as well. So if I look at that, I got
Rosansky.
Yeah, the guy, he got decent amateur pedigree. No. The guy Hrgovic got decent amateur pedigree. So because of that, I'm saying, you know what, fair play to Lawrence Okolie. Now we're saying, like, for him to be in the heavyweight division, right? What I'd like to see is for Lawrence to get the winner of Willem Smith versus Richard Rapport, which is on the 15th at Sellers Park. I would like to see him get the winner. And once he gets that's what I'd like to see. Him get the winner at Bridgerate, because it wouldn't be no problem for none of these guys to move up to that weight division. It'd be nice for me to see that. That's what would be nice. And then once they're in there, their name's in a hat, then we see where they go from there. But that's what I'd like to see. And they could command heavyweight money because Sky needs some boxer needs some pay-per-view fights. Right?
There's only one
And
pay-per-view fight. And we know
right.
we will know this.
Well, let's not even talk about that because you'll block Hotshot if he tries to start talking on our team. Right? So I'm saying to you, if we look at that fight, those guys being at Bridgerweight's actually heavyweight. Right? They're smaller heavyweights, but no, you're a heavyweight. You know what I mean? So similarly to when David Haye and Tony Bellew rocked it out, you know what I mean? It was a heavyweight fight, but it was just with the smaller heavyweights. But it did fantastic numbers on pay-per-view because of the hype and everything else. But they did good numbers. They worked out a team. They did really good. So I'd like to see the winner of Richard Rapp or Chris Billion-Smith for the WBO cruiserweight crown. The winner of that end up fighting Lenox Okolie. And plus, with Lenox Okolie's like, hey, what did you see, Don, when Joe Gallagher tried to hug up Lenox Okolie at the end of the fight?
Yeah, but I think it was just emotional, innit? There was a lot riding on that fight.
Yeah, I know it was, but it's still funny.
Yeah, there was a lot riding on that fight for Lawrence in his career. You know, another loss could have been drastic for him. I don't know why, but it's just the nature of the beast. So he was very passionate. He was pushing everyone. It wasn't just Joe, but Joe was the first man. You know, Joe's a passionate man.
I'm not going to remember the third or fourth man. I remember Joe Gallagher because I know Joe Gallagher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Joe loved jump up on man and lift man up in the air.
Man. You know what I mean? But you know, one thing I think is Joe Gallagher is very passionate about his fights. If he's with his fighters, he's with his fighters. You know what I mean? I rate Joe Gallagher. Big up Joe Gallagher. I'm glad for him.
Big up Joe.
You know what I mean? But yes, Tunde lost.
Yeah, I think we've touched everything.
We've touched on everything. It's been a plum pleasing, fantastic show. We didn't even have the phone over. We tried Bill Haney, but Tunde, let's try Bill Haney one more time. I mean, put it in the comment. Let's try one more time. If we get him, we get him. Because it'd be fascinating to hear this talk. Right? It would be. Because man was jumping up anyway. No big thing to don't get.
All right, let me try.
Because it's Sunday and he could be doing it. Maybe he's taking his other kid tennis because he only got another little tennis superstar kid.
Not quite, Duke, but I'm getting there. I haven't been coughing as much today, but my chest is still kind of. Where is the body snatcher? Where's Dylan? Yeah, we'll I don't know. He responded to an Instagram I sent him.
Forwarded to voicemail.
Nah.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please.
Well, we tried, and for that, I'm grateful.
We tried. Were we 118 in? Bill knows the thing ain't lit. No. It was, bro. This week has been a serious week for boxing. There's been J-Dubs, Portugal. My son's girlfriend's going to Portugal tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
Yep. Everyone have a good bank holiday. There's some boxing going on, amateur boxing going on this week. I think today was the first day, or yesterday. Today in Tottenham, Broadwater Farm.
What country is Joe Opataya from?
It's New Zealand, isn't it?
New Zealand. What's the time in New Zealand now? They got some mad. Let me just check. Time in New Zealand. Let me see.
It's 8:19 in Wellington, New Zealand.
Oh, it's 8 in the morning, yeah?
Yes. We have to talk about the announcement of Derek Chisora versus Joe Juggernaut, Jollof Joe Juggernaut Joyce. Spence, there has been a lot of eyebrows raised at the fact that Del Boy again refuses to retire and all of a sudden we've been given this fight at the O2, no belt on the line, no prospects of moving on, no mandatory. What is this fight about, Spence? And in your opinion,
we got to be real.
should it be happening? Because
No, in your
as soon
opinion,
as it
should it
was
be
announced,
happening?
sorry, as soon as it was announced, the criticism I was reading online was immense.
It was, but you know what? It's still a safe fight for Derek Chisora. I'm going to tell you why it's a safe fight for Derek Chisora. Because Joe
Derek might
Joyce
cap
didn't.
man out, to be honest with you.
Pardon me?
Derek might cap man out. I'm being honest with you.
That's what I'm trying to say to you, right? I'm going to be real with you. Derek's got a chance in this fight. I don't think he's going to win, but I hope that he does win. Do you know what I mean? I hope that he does win because Joe Joyce was very lackluster in the last performance when he boxed. That didn't impress me at all, right? And he's still trying to regroup. So I still think it's a safe fight. If it was like the Joe Joyce before the Zhang fight, I would be screaming out there taking the living liberties. But now, Joe Joyce's stock has dropped dramatically, right? So we're looking at like, well, what's next for him? What else is he going to go and do? Or how is he going to go and do it? So, but a lot of people are very disheartened by this fight because
And
it's not.
And
Yeah,
concerned.
yeah, of course they are, and quite rightly so because Derek Chisora keeps on coming back. There's only so much time you can keep on going to the wall. You know what I mean? And people were showing concerns about Derek 4 or 5 years ago, wishing for him to retire because they don't want to see him to get hurt. But he's not going to retire. So I've just learned to say, look, it's your life. You have to go do what you want to go and do with it, right? But don't be surprised if Derek don't cut Joe Joyce with an overhand right.
Hey, trust me, because Derek, one thing I know about Derek, when he throws his overhand right, you know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get it right. Joe is not the most elusive fighter on the planet Earth. We ain't talking about Sugar Ray Leonard or Muhammad Ali.
He's not. But you know what I mean. But Joe Joyce is meant to win that fight. Derek Chisora is now 40 ton.
Yeah. Hopkins won a belt after the.
I don't business. That's Bernard Hopkins. They don't build man like that anymore.
Yeah, someone said Derek never listens. Damn hard is. Derek, listen. If he feels it, he's gonna do it. You know, and Derek obviously feels that he still has something left, at least against Joe Joyce. And I think you're right. You know, Joe is a kind of like a safer bet, but Joe is a heavy puncher. Joe Joyce, again, is no spring chicken. Joe Joyce is 38. Let's remember that.
So it's two old man fight. But that fight within itself isn't going to catch a light. I don't think people will be rushing to go and watch that fight. I'm just going to be real. I hope that they do, but I don't think anyone's going to be rushing to go and watch that fight. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is Joe Joyce is still a commodity. He's got 2 losses on the record to the same guy, right? And he could still be slipped in. Even at 39 years old, he could still be slipped in. So we see what happens if he does get slipped in. You know what I mean? And on that note,
Joe was sorry, we'll finish. Joe was due to fight Martin Okolie, so you can see why he would dodge Okolie and fight Chisora because Okolie.
Martin Okolie. So I'm going to be real with you. Martin Okolie would beat Joe.
Bro, Martin Okolie will damage a lot of heavyweights right now.
Right, I'm saying Martin Okolie I'm telling you now, Martin Okolie would beat Joe. You know what I mean? And I like Joe. But right now, Martin Okolie is a serious, dangerous guy, man.
Yeah, nobody don't want to fight Martin Okolie. He is a very, you know, I don't know how old he is, but he's very, very active, agile, and he can punch. So I think a great way to end the show.
Thank you very much.
Dave Allen says Okolie beats Usyk. That's interesting.
Okay.
Or I can't see Usyk fighting Okolie now. And as you said, I think Usyk really should just duck out. Duck
Now,
out.
Daniel Day, I've got to disagree with you, but Coley isn't running on hype, you know. He's real.
Yeah, and the fighters know that he's real as well.
Yeah, they do know that he's real. He's real. He's real. I was ringside for when he broke up Carlos Takam. Trust me, the brother's real.
I haven't seen that fight, you know. I haven't seen that fight, but I heard he beat him up.
Oh, it's on YouTube. It was in Saudi in October. He broke him up. I was live ringside for that.
Yeah, Martin Okolie is the truth. And if he does get the opportunity, it'd be good. I think he should go back and fight. Michael Hunter. But no one don't want to give Michael Hunter. No one don't want to. I don't know. Michael. Sometimes
Michael Hunter is his own worst enemy, Tunde.
Yeah, detriment to himself. But anyway, great show again.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
People stayed on with us
today. I really did.
Chat. It's been good chatting to you all. We will be back next week, regardless of the fact that we're being asked to pay again for another pay-per-view live on DAZN. But one thing
I'll tell you again, I'm driving to Tunde's house to do the watch along. And that is that.
Yeah, that would be good still. Yeah. For a minute.
Right, exactly. And drink some of that black coffee.
Come on. Ota Eastern Mahogany. Let me just sign off all the people. Hustle, Daily, Motivation, Tech, Ja20, Eastern. I've just said that. Ota, TBG, Yemi X, Baba Tunde, Ricky Wallace, Jake, Dub, Joe Barrow, Daniel Day, Tyrone Booth, Leo, Joe Farmer, Marlo, Hustle, Daily, Motivation, Ricky Wallace, AO, Tech Tess, Edna Good, Duke Alexander, Guzzy, Kurt Campbell, so many, John Doe, Tyrone Booth, Ace One, TGO Blacks, Gogora, or Goruga, Air Force 286, CJ Nico, Joe Barrow, Checkmate 734, K Thomas, just everyone. You know the regulars, XL50, Ken 88, Ricky Wallace, Jermaine Williams, always with us, Mr. A.E. Francis, tight Jermaine. You know, Jermaine's always messaging, man. Always showing his disdain. The lovely half past fashion, hope, motherhood is going well. How long have you got left to the baby? Or is the baby already there? No, you still got a few months or whatever. But I hope that's all going well. Old tight show. Andre Bakenya. It's been great. It's been great, Spence. Thank you all for joining us another Sunday. We will be back next Saturday. We will be back next Sunday if God spares us another 7 days. And yeah, get ready for the watch along. The poster will be out. Everyone will be notified. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe to the #1 podcast in and on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, we end the show with the magical words of dream it, believe it, become it.
Coming up, may you have a fantastic, strong next 7 days, because we don't do weekdays. Peace, 2 fingers, we out.
We out.